right, welcome to a special edition BD Boys podcast. This one we got a surprise guest, my pops. I didn't think I'd ever have you on my podcast, so this is pretty cool. You were willing to do it.
It's a history-making event.
There you go. I mean, people want to know more about me and who is this guy on this podcast. Well, how are you supposed to get to know me unless you meet the person that made me?
Yeah.
So
So I'm the real deal here, guys. You know, I'm the biological father all the way 100%. So I'm the real deal, guys.
Well, did we ever get the test results? I don't know. We don't look alike.
It's not necessary because you have the same characteristics, and you have all the great genes from me, and from each other and so forth.
Right.
And also, I want to make sure you guys all follow the BD Boys.
Thank you.
Press the subscribe and press a like. Make sure they increase their fandom.
Thank you.
And I also want to thank Paul for allowing me the opportunity to appear on his up and coming show. That's gonna hit 2,000. He's gonna hit 2,000 hits.
Oh, that would make my year.
He's climbing because everything he does is successful.
Hey,
and
need this guy on.
So what I'll do is I'll return it to Paul, and I'm ready to answer questions. And again, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to appear in the BD Boys podcast.
Awesome.
BD Boys #1, golf and podcasts.
Both, which we used to golf back in the day, but so you're under oath, you know that, right? You got to swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth. All right, here we go.
And I got my fingers crossed, so everything is good to go and everything's cool.
No, this is going to be lighthearted history. Let's get to know you, therefore get to know me.
Yep.
Shout out. I like the chain. You're looking good.
Yep.
Representing Sac State. You remember Timmy from our other one goes there. So I love the hat. Everything looking good.
I always my bling whenever I can.
Oh, you got that's my motto. That's my motto. Okay. So let's start with like a little history. Okay. So like I know where my grandmother is from, but I don't really know my where is he from? Like if people ask you where are your parents from, what do you say?
Okay. My mother, first of all, was born in Tepehuanes, Durango, Mexico. And her quick bio, if I have the time to say it.
Yeah, of course.
She basically told me what she did is that when she was 14, 15 years old, no resources and no future, and also any economic opportunity. So her mother sent her to Juarez, Mexico, because that was a bustling town, and you hear it in all these famous songs like Gabriel Juan Gabriel. He screams out "Arriba Juarez," so I got to do.
That's on the Texas
Arriba
border,
Juarez.
Right? That's on the Texas border.
Yes, that's Texas border, and it's like Tijuana, but it's also
right.
It's adjacent to Texas. The border is Texas, so they sent her there to go work, and basically, with no skills and no education, at 14, 15 years old, she arrived in a train, and she was cleaning houses,
in Juarez.
In Juarez, doing laundry, and they sent her there with a relative, so she was staying with a relative. So basically, 14, 15 years old, in those days, I guess you were grown up by that age.
At that age, being sent on your own.
Some of our kids can be 25 and they haven't grown up yet. So,
hey, who's he talking about? Who's he talking about? Timmy?
I'm talking in general.
Might be talking about me.
I'm talking about in general. Okay, so there, while in Juarez, Chihuahua, while working there, I guess that's where she met my father, and my father was he was there working as a mariachi, and apparently mariachis had a reputation of being flamboyant and players, of course,
like gigolos or pimps.
Okay, so I'll just go that far. I won't go any further. So anyway, my father's side, believe it or not, he was born in San Fernando, California.
Oh, before it was.
Yeah, he was born in San Fernando, California, and
that's crazy.
He left to Michoacán by force. In those days, it was political because the American government was I guess, involved in the World War. I don't know if it was one or two. I think it had to be number one or two. And so they rounded up all the Mexican people, even if you were born here or you weren't.
Right.
And they shipped him and his family, his father, because his father was from Mexico. So they shipped them in a train.
So he was legal.
Yes.
But still got rounded up.
Yes.
Under that, what was it, Operation Wetback or whatever it was called?
Yes.
No,
Operation Wetback.
That's really,
you can
what
look
called.
it up on the internet or on YouTube. And the same situation that happened to another group of good people, such as the Japanese. They were sent to the
they were
internment.
also sent to the camps.
So anyway, that's history. It's not hearsay. It's not made up by nobody. So he was sent to Mexico, and there he claims that he suffered a lot when he was sent to Michoacán, because his father literally sold him to a ranch. So he became like I'm not going to say slave, but he became like possession of the other ranch, and then he claims that's where he became ill, and he attracted rheumatism. And if anybody knows him,
leg or whatever,
if anybody knows him, that's why you can see that he has a leg that basically is immobile. It's just straight. I mean, stiff. And so he didn't let that bother him. He learned how to play the guitar at the ranch, and he claims that he escaped. And he moved to Juarez.
Was he getting paid, or he was a real?
He was like I said, I don't like to use the word slave, but he was like a slave. He was a possession of that ranch. And if he did make any money, I guess he probably sent it to the father. And the father.
So the pops sold him.
Yeah.
And he worked for the pops and then got money back.
Yeah, to another ranch. And the father, his name was Serapio. So I know some history.
Did you ever meet him?
I never met him. No, I never met any of my grandparents. So anyway, so he was he ended up in Juarez again. Like I say, that was a bustling town, and there was a lot of nightclubs and there was a lot of bars. It was a little bit more big time than Tijuana, more famous. And he was there working as a mariachi. Okay, mariachi. Okay,
I could cut that.
That's cool. You know, just shows my upbringing. So from there, he met my mom there. And that's where they had two kids, which is David, my older brother, and myself, which that was 1953 when I was born. And that's where my life began. And from there, I ended up coming to the United States. But we came through Tijuana, and we ended up in San Fernando, California. So that's where I grew up.
Did you guys know anyone there, or you just he just wanted to go back there?
No, my dad's brother was there, as a matter of fact. Ismael. Ismael Erasmo I don't think was there yet, because he was coming back and forth. But Ismael was living there already with his family. So they found us. Like it was in Spanish, it's called soterraño, but it's underneath the house. What do you call it? Attic? Not an attic,
like
a basement,
kind of.
And that's where our first place was, and also. There was like a little trailer back there. So
you remember all that?
I remember all that because years when I was like 3 or 4 years old, my mom would tell us, see, that's where you used to live, and that's where the trailer used to stay in. So that's where we lived in San Fernando, California.
So was that Pacoima, or that was
San Fernando?
This was San Fernando.
San Fernando.
Was Pacoima even exist? Did that even exist back then? Or?
Yeah, yes, it did. And so when I arrived here, I was 6 months old. So I arrived here in May of 1954. And from there, I grew up right in San Fernando, in the San Fernando Barrio, which is right there in the corner of Callister Street. And that's where I lived. And I had a good time there. I had good friends, and a lot of good history there. As a matter of fact, I'm not embarrassed to say that I'm so old that I remember when they were building the 5 freeway right there.
Oh, what was it then? Just dirt roads?
Well, it was all highways and so
if you wanted to go to LA, there was no 5.
Oh, you would take San Fernando Road.
Take the road.
Take San Fernando Road all the way, and they were building the 5, which is one of the biggest highways in California, if not the biggest.
Right.
And I remember walking over there. I was like 4 or 5 years old, and we would walk to the where they were building the freeway. I still remember the hill. It was all dirt, and we'd go up there and collect bottles. So that was our source of trying to make some kind of income. So I remember taking my burlap sack and collecting bottles, and all the workers were real nice. The only thing I remember, because I was that young, was just basically their feet. I don't remember faces, but all the workers were there, and it was a big event.
Wait, what do you mean their feet?
Yeah, because I was so
Nobody
small.
had shoes?
Also small, and I was just happy and kind of like too humble and too afraid of the big people. So I would just collect bottles and, happy to collect bottles.
Yeah.
And then we would come back, and there was a store directly across the street called Kuko's Market. So we would go and turn them in and get a couple cents for them. So that's
when did you start work? Like, because you used to go to pick fruit, right? In Porterville?
Oh yeah.
That's when you were a little bit older?
That's a little bit older. And then that's the next event that occurred. So the first event was that when, like I say, I was 4 or 5 years old, and we used to go hiking to where they're building the freeway, which is over there by Laurel Canyon, where now they have the In-N-Out Burger. Oh yeah. So we would climb up there, and I clearly remember being on top, and then we would look at the horizon.
Yeah.
You could see all the palm trees, and one of the workers told me, "Hey, if you guys ever want to go over there, they call that." Excuse the impression. They used to call that Paddy Land.
Patty? Why? Like
because that was like the better area. It was all white, and then our
Patty, like Irish.
Well, that was a saying for, like, for example, everybody. Anyway, that's a saying nowadays. It's not that offensive, but anyway, our side was all the Hispanic and the Barrio,
but everybody was
San
Mexican
Fernando.
back then.
Yeah,
right?
well, in San Fernando, if I'm right, I recall it was like, to me, it was like 80-90% Hispanic Mexican. And,
but I'm saying back then, it didn't seem like there weren't like other Salvadorians.
No, not at all.
It mostly all Mexicans?
It was all Mexican or Mexican American there in our.
And that started later, right?
Yeah, that influx started later. I clearly remember that. Had to be like the 70s or 80s, 60s or 70s, 80s. And so that part, I remember that clearly, and we befriended a lot of people around there and had a good time. We used to play.
But you were dirt poor, though, right?
Oh yeah, yes.
It didn't seem like you were unhappy or you know what I mean?
No, you were happy, and you made things. You enjoyed things. It's not the same as today. Today, it's kind of sad to see some kids are stuck in front of their video games. And in those days, we played with we used to call them trompos, but they're actually, anyway, they had a string you wrap around them and you throw them on the ground and they spin, and then we developed games from there. And then also the other thing we did too is we played a lot of canicas, but those are marbles. We used to play with marbles, and you play games. I used to play like challenge, and we became very good with those. And another thing, of course, was hide and go seek, just basic games like
real games where you're outside playing. And
yeah, and I don't even recall having a TV. I remember the first TV we got. I was already like 6, 7, 8 years old. It was a little small, black and white.
Little black and white.
Yeah, with the antennas, and that's the first time when I saw the Dodgers on TV when they arrived.
Oh,
and that's when they arrived. They were playing at
in the 50s.
Yeah, in the 50s, and they were playing at the Coliseum before they built Dodger Stadium.
Right. They played there a couple of years.
So anyway, like I said, I got a little bit carried away, but that wasn't up until I was like 5, 6 years old, and I went to the elementary school down the street, and I was just walking distance, and had a good experience there, San Fernando Elementary.
So would you say your childhood was like, you look back at it fondly, or
yes,
like you look back like,
yes, I look at different times in my life that to this day that they were my favorite times, and that was one of my favorite times. Anyway, from there, everything was going good, and it was beautiful, and we rode bikes in the area, just basic play, and had a good old time. You
got along with all your brothers and sisters?
Yes, we all played, and we were all very, very good. I hung around with my older brother David.
Who were you closest to?
And it had to be David, because Lupe was younger, and she was a girl, and then right below that was George. He was a tiny little kid. He had to be like 2 or 3 years old, whatever, real small kid, and then Pila and Tony.
Were even younger, right? Or
so now what brought it into all this good time? I had to be like maybe 7, 8 years old. We had an abrupt change in our life. My mother and my father broke up, and since there were 6 of us, we all got basically my mom left, and we were going to leave the house that we were living at. So we were all separated and shipped to. I call it shipped to different locations. I got selected to go to Porterville, so I went to Porterville, and this had to be like in 1961. It can't be 62, maybe 62, but 1961. I was elected to go to Porterville with my aunt Sarah, and Pila and I went to Porterville. And
how did they pick who went?
I don't know what the choice process was.
Was this through like the courts and all that?
No,
like
it was my father.
Just he decided.
My father just decided.
Go, okay.
Yeah, because one morning we woke up and we had our little fruit boxes wrapped up with burlap twine, and we had our life possessions in there, which is.
Oh, so you were going to Porterville just for a short time, or you were going there to live? You didn't know when you were coming back?
We didn't know we were coming back. So, So I was sent to Porterville with Pila, and George was supposed to go to Mexicali, but I'm glad he didn't go. I guess they had different change of plans, but he was supposed to go there, and apparently.
Why is that good that he didn't go?
Because he might have never come back, and he would have just been a different person than what he is now. So he was supposed to go with my understanding was with Erasmo, my dad's brother. They were living in Mexicali, and then I think Lupe was going with her with her godmother, and they lived down the street. They were established people, and her name was Aurora.
So Lupe got the best deal.
Yeah, she got the best deal. And then David went there, but I heard he didn't like it there. He didn't get along with all the brothers and sisters, so he ended up going back with my mom. So anyway, so that was a tumultuous time.
Were you close with your dad before that? Did you say?
I was never close with my dad.
Even when he was there living?
Yeah. He like I say, we were all separated, and that was like a rude awakening, in my opinion. That's
Did you know? You didn't have any idea it was coming?
No, not at all. No, not at all. Just one morning, like I say, I saw our boxes there, and then it was just strange. I mean, the way everything went down. I remember early in the morning before the sun came up, my dad brought his girlfriend.
Oh,
my dad brought his girlfriend because my mom was gone already, and our little boxes were.
Wait, where did your mom go?
She just took off. She lost it.
So he told her it's over, and then she split.
Yeah, she split, and she went to work in San Fernando Barrio in a restaurant. And so she got a little place right there in one of the, like a back room.
Yeah.
She basically left because, I'm not here to put in any blame or to diss anybody or throw any shade on anybody, but she couldn't stand it, so she left, and that broke up the family. At that time, and that's where, like I say, I remember those days. They were traumatic, but they made me what I am today.
Right.
So I woke up, and my dad brought this his girlfriend, and to me, I wasn't used to seeing different kind of people. But to me, I don't know why, but maybe I'm giving her too much credit. But to me, she looked like Marilyn Monroe.
You went with a white chick?
Then my dad was pointing to us. This is Mario. This is Mario. You see, this over here is Lupe, and this one George. So anyway, that was another.
So what happened to her?
My mother ended up staying in the barrio, and
the white lady.
Oh, they ended up.
I went white too.
They ended up hooking up together, and my dad had a daughter with that family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So who was that?
That lady had my dad has a picture right in his house. Yeah, it's right there. Her name was Casey. That was her name. Right now, she's got to be older, about Tony's age or older.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened afterwards, but I remember when she was hanging around with us, playing with us, So anyway, I'm bringing up these times because these times were,
So these were bad times. You're all split up, or
I don't call them bad times because you learn to adapt,
right,
and you learn to make the best of it, and that's why I look back and those were, I don't know, tumultuous times. That's what I call them, but they were also times that you'll never forget, and they make you what you are now.
But see, so that's kind of one of my questions going in is the next one, like all the gardening. That's like your big thing. All the every house you have trees, you have plants everywhere, succulents everywhere. And then I remember you telling me one time that you used to work with your dad. So when did that?
Oh yeah.
So was that when you were still a young?
I used to go when.
So like he was still in your life.
Well, I used to go when we were a complete family unit before the breakup, and I used to go and help him. And I remember we would go and we would do cleanups. I remember we went to a yard, and I remember carrying like a big old. It would be similar to carrying like a stack of a bale of hay.
Okay.
But it was basically a lot of weeds and trash. So I was proud of myself, and I was carrying it to the trash can, and I was really proud of that. And then when we got home, believe it or not, that's where I developed my work ethic. To this day, I still believe that if you have work boots and you're dirty a little bit like that, that's something to be proud of. And I remember coming home that day when I was carrying that big old pile of weeds. It was a big old giant pile, and I was so proud of myself. And when we got home, I think my uncle and my dad, I guess that was their personality. My dad and them were just saying, he's not good for work. So that's the kind of response I always got.
He was like kind of negative.
Yeah. Instead of saying that Mario was out there working his ass off, trying to make a difference. He's doing good. He carried a big old giant pile of weeds over his head. But no, I guess that was his personality. Maybe that's the way he was treated when he was growing up. So he basically, those are things that kind of like stuck in my mind, and they always hurt. And he basically just said that,
were you always trying to
Mario didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. He didn't
trying to prove yourself.
Always, yeah. And like I say, he was just say he didn't do nothing. He's lazy and blah blah blah. And then just to top it off, when we got home, I remember jumping underneath the bottom of his 56 Ford. He had a 56 Ford, and I just got dusty and dirty. Just 'cause I was proud. I wanted them to think this guy really went out and busted his balls.
Right.
so I actually got dirty to even be more proud. So that's the way my mentality was.
Oh,
and to this day,
before
still,
you came home to show like I'm all.
Yeah, before I went inside to show my mom.
Yeah.
So to this day, I'm still proud that I don't mind getting dirty and doing hard work, and labor work is prideful work.
Right. So that kind of that was kind of one of my later questions. Might as well bring it up. We were talking about. So that's where you got your work ethic, because I just remember as a kid, you were always, remember I would tell Desert, like, I would get up, you were already gone for work. You came home late, you were always working. You worked like every day. I think you only had Tuesdays off and even on those days off, it was like, oh, where's Dad? He's outside working. Like, I tell her it was like rare that I ever saw you just like sitting on the couch watching
You're
TV.
Exactly right.
That was like at the end of the night.
Yeah, you're so.
But it seemed like you liked being outside working.
That came
all
from
day.
That came from all the work ethic that I'm going to bring up in the future right now. But talking about that, I worked at this one place for over 40 years. I mean, later on, and I can honestly say that I must have called in sick 2 or 3 times.
I don't remember
2 or 3 times, and to this day,
calling in sick.
To this day, if I called in sick 2 or 3 times in 40 years, now I regret it because it wasn't appreciated. But that's a whole different story that we can bring up at a later time.
That's true.
Okay, so
but you had such a great work ethic. What happened to all your kids?
Okay.
Who's the laziest? And I know I'm up. I know I'm high.
Because
who's the laziest?
Okay.
I used to say when I tell Desiree, my dad used to get so pissed because you would get up at like 8 a.m. on a Saturday or a Sunday and start doing everything, and then I come out at 2 o'clock because I just got up at 1, and everything was done, and you were pissed the whole rest of the day. You were pissed.
To this day, that still applies. I mean, but now,
hey, I'm going through it too. My son is lazier than I was.
Me, the lucky part is that now that I'm kind of getting a little bit more on the disabled part, and I'm lucky I have Tina, because Tina,
shout out to Tina.
She has the energy, and she gets out there, and right now she's doing everything. Like today was my day to water front and back, and of course pick up after the dogs, and she actually did all that today. I mean, just to give you
shout out, Tina.
Just to give you the way it is now. Okay, so household running. So anyway, we left off of the breakup when I was a kid. Now, since Paul is the narrator, I'll let him ask me what does he want to do next.
So let's see. I mean, these questions you kind of already answered, like what sticks out the most to you about growing up back then? You kind of said it, just being a kid.
Yeah.
You were more free to kind of do stuff. I don't even think you probably realize how poor you were, how, nowadays, if you look back, like, damn, I was, we were poor. We were probably struggling, but you were having fun with your brothers. Kind of just like real quick, how was it in Porterville, the picking? Like, were you really actually like picking? Like the way I heard they are, like all day.
Okay, so this is the perfect, avenue to the next subject, which is perfect. Now, so the last time I spoke, the family broke up in San Fernando, and that was like 1961. Right. Okay, so now my next chapter is Porterville. Okay, so at that time, I was introduced to the picking, and that was a whole different, ball game, because there you get up before the sun comes up,
right?
And you get up and you jump in the back of it. You had a pickup, you had like a '58 Ford, and you jump in the back of the pickup, and then we wake up before the sun came up in the orchards, and the number one fruit that was Porterville, California, was orange. That was orange, and that was king over there. And I learned how to pick fruit, and I was proud of it. I hung around with Gilbert. Gilbert was a few years younger than me, but he was like my best friend.
He's like the nicest guy.
Yeah, and to this day, I can boldly say that he is my favorite cousin. And he's my favorite cousin, and I owe a lot to him.
Yeah, big. I went out. Just a side note, I went out to Porterville a couple times with Big Dave. I don't think I went when you guys went. You guys went on a couple trips too. I think I went before, and we stayed with him one time, and he was the nicest guy. I was like, man, this guy is
that guy. We would in those days it was completely different from what it is now, because now I drive up and down the 5 and I see what the way the farm workers work. Now they have it a little bit better, but when we're there, they had no anti-gumps. No anti-gumps.
Shit, I didn't even think of that.
And if you didn't take your own water, there was no water. I mean, those things have improved, but in those days they didn't have that.
Was this before the whole Cesar Chavez movement?
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, Cesar Chavez, we didn't go pick. This was when I went back in 65, 66. We wouldn't go pick grape, even though they paid pretty good in grape, because there was too much militantism over there, and there was a lot of strikes. And then sometimes, if they suspect you of being what do they call it when you break the line? They would attack you and stuff like that. So my family, the Aparisos, avoided
strike.
Yeah, my family, the Aparisos, avoided going to Delano because there was too much farm workers and too many. Of course, I support them to this day. A scab. Yeah, and to this day, I still support them. I got them right here.
Yeah, you probably got some. You got
Chavez.
Oh, right there.
Right there.
Have you been up to that hole, like where he lives?
Oh, yeah.
Up
he had his big place here at Tehachapi.
Yeah, Tehachapi.
Yeah. So anyway, that was going on there, so we avoided that. And what they would do is during those first 3 months, we went to after we finished the whole orchard, and sometimes it would take a week, or sometimes take a month, or take a couple of weeks. Then after that, the general contractor, like Uncle Barney, he would go up to. I remember from there we drove to San Jose, Santa Clara, and Sunnyvale. Sunnyvale. Over. And that was another experience that I'll never forget in my life. To this day, it's still instilled in me. They had in those days they didn't have double cabs like they have now. they had the pickups. They had like a '58 pickup Ford, and it just had a single cab.
And everybody be in the back.
So in a single cab, you could fit Tio Amador, Sarah, Rogelia, Pila. And you had
Pila was out
then you had Javi. Javi was a little kid.
Yeah,
he was Tio Amador's favorite. And then you had Gilbert. So obviously there's no room for me in the front. So they created a little crevice in the back amongst all the stuff they took. They took like mattresses or whatever they were going to need for those 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever time they were going to spend at the next picking camp. And we ended up in Santa Clara, right next to Santa Clara College, just before they even built that the Levi Stadium and all that. I mean, that wasn't there.
So it was just all farmland back then?
Yeah. There we concentrated on picking apricot. apricot, and that was so much fun because, like I say, that was a big old, it was like a commune. It was like a camp,
right?
And they had just one shower there, and then we lived there, and then we would go there and
like the movie La Bamba.
Yeah, like La Bamba, and then Rogelia was like almost like an adult, so told me, hey, come with me. So I went with her over to the center where the people hang out, and then they were over there. I guess she was over there talking to guys. I mean, which is natural. Yeah. And to this day, I'll never forget. They were playing like music, and they were doing the twist. And if you meet her, she's so conservative, so nice. You would never think so, but she was had to be like maybe 17, 18, 19 maybe. But I remember her doing the twist and putting on music like what's that song that I always play for that, Timmy? It was Chris Montez. they would play music like that, and also that other music was Speedy Gonzalez was number one. They were doing the twist, Speedy Gonzalez. So all that was good. I mean, it was so great. And I just had a good time,
It sounds like simple times.
Yeah, simple times,
good, right?
simple times. And after
you were getting paid too, right?
Yeah, I was getting paid. It was like I think it was like 23 cents a bucket, and the bucket was a pretty big bucket, bigger than that Raiders bucket right there.
That's what I was saying. Imagine that only basically a quarter to fill that whole bucket.
Yeah, and then you go dump it into the big old giant bin, and then they stamp your ticket. So. Yeah, that's what you get paid. Yeah, and I don't know. Like I say, now there's been some improvements. Like I say, I drive through the 5 now. Like I say, they have big old water trucks, and they have Andy Gumps and all that. They didn't have all that before.
So a lot of that was because of Cesar Chavez, right?
Cesar Chavez, of course. They brought everything into law. Yeah, yep. So anyway, that was a good time, and I got to go back later on when, like in 65, 66, I had to be like 13 years old maybe. And that was a whole different time because now my aunt and my uncle had brought the rest of their family from Mexico,
right?
And they did the right thing. They brought them all over, and they documented all the way it's supposed to be done. They paid for their the simple way to say is they paid for their papers and to get the whatever they needed documentation, and they did the right thing. So that's why I have so much respect for those people. On their wages and their hard work.
Right.
They did everything right. And, I'm not embarrassed to say, my father never did that for me. I had to do everything for myself as an adult. And like I said, I wasn't going to throw no shade on anybody, but that's a big difference that I saw. And, you can't bring people from Mexico and not document them or not fix their papers.
How come it wasn't done when you were a kid?
Because he had other things on his mind, like Marilyn Monroe. I mean,
oh, so you're saying
okay? So
the white chicks are the ones.
no, he had 3 other Mexican chicks. Too.
Oh, he had a whole stable, a whole harem. So he was like a playboy
player. Yeah,
he was a player.
Yeah, but like I say, I'm not here to throw any shade on anybody. Just life facts,
Yeah, and.
And just one last thing regarding that. What I do right now to stay strong, and to this day, believe me, I'm mentally strong, and I learn from all this. I don't let that bother me, and I have certain ways of keeping strong. That's the way I do it like that. Some people might criticize me that I'm not close with this and that, or I mean, I don't want to get into that, but anyway, that's how I stay strong because I got my ways of doing it, and I shouldn't be criticized for that. I mean, that's why I'm a good person. And okay, so next,
so that's good. I mean, that's kind of the history I wanted. I had like 2 other things I want to bring up. So the whole we're in your garage, and I'm looking at it, I'm looking at all the stuff. Like sports is obviously like. Sports memorabilia, just collecting, just all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, look at your whole garage filled, and even the other house, it was the same. So like, what started that with it? What got you into that? What made you want to, collect?
Oh, okay.
Because not everybody has. A lot of people have stuff, but not to this degree.
Okay. In a nutshell.
Which, by the way, I like it. I mean.
Yeah. In a nutshell.
I have the same thing.
Okay. In a nutshell, first of all. This is Chicanoism.
Oh, okay.
And that's the word that describes what my walls are. Like, and that wall over there, you don't have to look at it. That's dedicated to all the Raiders. And I got memorabilia, I got pictures, I got
I love it.
my favorite players. I got Jim Plunkett. I got it. What's the other one I like, Timmy?
There's Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen was one of my favorites. I got Howie Long over there somewhere. I got okay. Now on this side, I call this, believe it or not, I call it my raza wall. And over here, one thing I want to say without
this is nice.
Without anybody, that Timmy got me that thing and Desmond. Okay, now what I want to attribute on this side is without making anybody feel bad, is that I personally idolize family and friends first. Okay, I will not idolize celebrities, athletes, great bands. They're not my top. My top is family and friends.
Right.
And I'm proud to say that. I'm not going to be able to chasing down all these celebrities, just take a picture with them. That's not me. Me, you can see my wall. You can see my likes, my soul. And this is what I call this Chicanoism. If you guys want any proof of that, I recommend you guys see certain movies. Like if you guys see any kind of movies, you see this type of representation, such as have you guys seen the movie La Misión? Okay, that guy's wall. If you look at him, I go, hey man, he's got what I got. I mean, not saying, but he has his own flavor. And then he has pictures of him and the homies, all this and that, and old pictures, and he has the trophies, and he's got his lowrider car parked in there, and so that's why I call it Chicanoism. You got to see
a little bit,
and it's not just that movie.
Everything.
Yeah, just look at all the old
Right.
movies about the Chicanos. Another one too was that the Chicano movies were one of the recent ones. Anyway, if you look at them, you look at their garages, man, I go, man, that's impressive, man. I love it.
Do you know of somebody? Do you remember maybe as a kid or even as an older adult, just starting out? Do you remember somebody's house where you walked in and you were like, "Oh shit, look at all this stuff they have in there"? That kind of struck you, or
actually, no. Actually, it was created in my heart, and like I say, it takes a special breed to know what your walls are calling. You know what I mean? And you need to have a little spot. If somebody doesn't have a nice 2-car garage, like this 2-car garage, believe it or not, it's my sanctuary.
Yeah,
it's my oasis. It's my man cave. It's also on the spot, repair shop right there. It's also my pool table, luxury room, like a man cave.
Right.
So this is multi-purpose. I love it.
Every time we come over,
this is my shrine, man. This is my shrine.
We're always in here, and it's comfortable.
This
cool.
is my shrine, and it's a work in motion. I mean, it's developing. It'll never be fully complete.
It looks pretty complete.
Yep. And there's so many crevices that you can do, and like I say, I'm going to go first with family.
Yeah.
Relatives.
Yeah, I like that too.
That's why I call it
everybody's trophies.
My raza wall over here.
Yeah,
I mean,
you have your old. I remember those pins.
I got it all. I mean,
and then you got all your kids.
Yep, all history.
You got Sonoma.
All history. Like
you got Sacramento State stuff. You got
like I won't have like a pile of albums here.
Right.
They attract rodents and stuff. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to display what's in my heart.
I feel like every time I come in here, I see something that I didn't see before. Like I don't remember those Laker bobbleheads.
Yep.
So, but this is cool, and I like how you have everybody's college up there. That's like to me, I appreciate that kind of stuff. That's cool, man. So anyway. I just wanted to see. I know why you're a sports fan in terms of like what teams, because you grew up in LA, obviously. So you're Dodger, Raider, because I remember as a kid, Desiree had that like, oh, why do you like these teams? He's like, I didn't know any different. When you're a kid, you like whatever your parents like. I don't know what happened to Timmy.
Yeah.
I don't know where he went off the rails, but
like the typical garage is going to have maybe one thing here. It'll say, a Chevy. That's it.
Yeah.
Or what's a typical thing? They'll have Uncle Mac's garage, and it'll have a little tool there. I mean,
yeah.
I mean that's a typical.
But you guys,
garage.
you guys definitely can't move because
anyway, like I say, I know this is a treasure, so I already told Mario that when I'm gone, he can have all my Raider stuff because he's the only true Raider fan in the family. Okay, so what's next, guys? As far as I would love to talk about my 5 kids. I mean, or I don't know if that would be for the next podcast or now.
No, we can. I was going to touch on that. I was going to say my next question was, who is your favorite? No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Okay.
This is kind of a
perfect question.
No, we don't want to hurt anyone.
No, I was going to tell. Got the perfect answer. I have no favorites.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. I got the perfect answer.
I was getting afraid for Timmy's sake.
No, he's not the golden child. I mean,
not the gold. No, but this was one of my questions too. Okay. That kind of now looking back, because now all your kids are adults.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're proud of everybody.
Yeah, that's I was going to say something about that.
You're proud of all of them. But what do you now looking back? Maybe my kids are kind of adults too, but maybe for Timmy and Mario. They're going to have, assuming, they're going to have kids or want to have kids. You have any advice or is there anything you could say you should do more of this, less of this? Is there any advice you have for them?
Well, what I do want to say is, talking about my upbringing, a lot of people use that. I'm not going to say use that as an excuse, but I look at all these shows on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Every person that comes on there that has say they've done time in prison, they've done this, they've had all these problems.
Right.
They always blame it on my father, my mother left me. Right. That's the reason. Oh, that's the reason why I'm in drugs. That's the reason why I'm a criminal. I got no excuses. I'm not going to blame all that stuff. I'm going to say that stuff made me stronger, made me better.
Right.
And I'll never use that. I've never had those problems. I've never been an addict. I can clearly say I've never been an alcoholic, and also I never had problems with the law. I mean, minor brushes here and there, but minor. And also, a lot of people use that as an excuse. You can't. You don't. You got all these people. You got all these homies or anybody in prison. And they all say, "Oh, because we're poor.
Right.
My mother left, my dad left us.
Right.
We were poor and had to steal." No, I don't believe in that. You can be strong in your heart and your mind, and you can have a belief. I'm not going to be a fake Christian. None of that stuff. I believe in God, but I'm not going to go around telling everybody praise this, praise that.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Stop.
I think
you want me to turn the camera on you? Okay.
I think I've gotten to the point where I can claim myself to be a non-denominational Christian. That's what I am.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, I got to get back to the kids. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now. Okay. And that led up to this because, like I said, my upbringing. I used to say I'm going to get blessed with something. In my life. And I got blessed with the 5 best kids. I'm not just going to say that because they're my kids.
No, but they are all.
But you have the oldest one. I know all his attributes. You went and got your bachelor's degree, San Diego State. Without saying names, I'm going to say all these people. Great job, homeowner, contributor to society, pays taxes. Is not in trouble with the tax evasion of the law, not in jail, not in prison.
Not yet.
Okay. Now, he finally ended up with the I don't sound good with the right wife. Okay. And then they also have a daughter that she can basically work wherever she wants, bachelor's degree, master's degree, and we know the rest. Okay, you got another one that graduated. Sonoma State, bachelor's degree. He's doing what he wants to do. He's working out with conservation, with the parks and the California State. Okay, then you got another one that tried college. It wasn't for him, but the positive thing, which I said earlier, is if you work with work boots and you get a little dirty, you get a little bit of oil stains, whatever. As long as you hold your job, he's been at his job for over 5 years. he has the best credit that I've ever had.
Last but not least.
Okay, you have one that's been going for 2 years to Sac State. I got it on my chest, and I know he's going to become something because he has told me that he's going to graduate, and he's going to become some type of professional, and that's what I can say. I'm blessed with these. These are the best kids.
Right.
I mean, why did I get blessed with these? There has to be a reason. Maybe because I suffered through all these other things, and I was maybe a good example. Of course, I have my regrets too.
But you know what? That is true because all 5 kids are.
Yeah. They're not
all good kids. You know what I mean? Everybody is doing good. Jail.
Right.
There's no drug addicts.
They're not coming out on YouTube or the internet. Shooting guns or gang banging or whatever you want to call it.
Well, I do gang bang, but only on the side part time. No, but that is true. I mean, I think a lot of your hard work and ethics rubbed off on us.
Yeah.
That I don't want to be a, I don't want to be a bum. I would feel like you would feel, I would never want you to feel disappointed.
So ending that segment, we can say Sonoma State, UCLA, San Diego State, Channel Islands, Sac State, Sacramento State. Okay,
which I like those colors. Give me a hoodie, Timmy.
It's not bragging or anything like that, guys. But I just something that I'm blessed.
You should brag.
I'm going to go to the grave. I'm going to go to the grave happy with a smile.
Right. There's a lot of parents that don't have that kind of. You have 5 kids. There's usually a couple that are going to be messed up.
Yeah.
But all 5 are doing good. Even Mario, he's not working. He's not. I mean, he's not in school, but he's working. He did school. He's still young. He could always get into a trade. He could exactly. He still has his future ahead. Timmy's his future is bright. Pauline's already doing his. So it's like, that is a success. No matter
like me. I mentioned a little bit of my ups and downs, and I didn't do nothing great, but at least I was a good person. I paid my taxes and had a
these days that is great.
Job. Had a basic job.
You lived a good life.
Had a basic job, and so you can make it in life with having a.
But from where you came from, where you came from, that's a huge. You had all the chips stacked against you. Yeah. So the fact that you came out like that, and now you have a nice house, you have your kids that are all successful, you're living your life. What can you complain? 50 minutes.
Paid off my house.
50 minutes. So what's your final parting words of wisdom? And I wanted to bring up too, because you didn't bring up that you haven't been drinking alcohol in 2 years? You said now. What was the anniversary?
Okay, I voluntarily just completed last August. Last August, I completed 2 years. I just decided to stop drinking, and that's another one of my points and virtues, that I have strength to stop. And my philosophy is that if I keep drinking, I might live 5 years.
I keep drinking.
So without drinking, maybe I can live 10 years. So that's my philosophy. I don't know if it makes sense, but to me it does. And that's the reason why I stopped. So I can still act goofy, and I can still act crazy and flamboyant and whatever without drinking.
Right.
And that's something that I learned just like that now.
And not to cut in, but I told Desiree too, since I noticed you stopped drinking, you seem a lot more like at ease, comfortable. And to me, you seem more talkative.
Yeah.
When you drink, you used to talk a lot, but when you were drinking, you were real kind of quiet. And then now it's like,
because I used a different person. I used to drink to, to be more talkative and be like a life of the party. I am. I'm kind of. I consider myself a little introverted type personality, and
so the alcohol would help.
It would help
you loosen up.
It would help.
So that's kind of like me. That's how I.
Yeah. But you can overcome it. I thought it was going to be hard. It's not. You just do it. You just.
I eventually want to. For health reasons too, want to stop. Right now, it's just hard, but
Yeah.
Because I love it. But eventually I do want to stop too, because you're right. Health as you get older, you kind of want to be around.
Yeah. I want to see what happens to all the kids, all the grandchildren, see how they go. And I want to see their accomplishments. And, you want to see that. So
this was a good story. I mean, it started from, meager beginnings. Yep. Didn't look good. It didn't look good. And, in respect to all you and your brothers, sisters, you guys all made it out of that. I can't even imagine being, you say 8 or 10 and being split up.
Yeah, split up. And
they're being sent over here.
Since you brought that up, that's why there's 6 in our family.
Yeah.
And that's why each and every one of them completely different personalities and lifestyles. True. But that's a result. You guys that's a result. Yeah.
You guys will always have that bond. You guys went through that together, and you guys all have pretty much, you guys are all doing well. So yes, you made it out. So salute to your life, because without that, I wouldn't be here. Timmy.
That's I want to thank you for allowing me to speak. And
that was great. I want to do more. I want to do some more. I have been telling Dad, I was like, I want to get my dad on there just to share some stories. And
it's
good to leave some wisdom for the next generation.
This is not my thing, but I like to stay private and stay like below the.
Under the radar.
Yeah, under the radar. And but I'm glad I came out and talked. And like I say, I feel good. I just hope I didn't offend anybody. And
no, I don't know how. The only one I think offended was Timmy, because you said he was not your favorite. Other than that, everybody else is doing good. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But thank you for salud. You're not drinking, but
See,
salud.
I forgot how to do that already.
Let's see how this one comes out. Maybe we'll do it again. We'll do it maybe with couples. Tina, you got to get in here next time. But all right. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
All righty. Okay. Thank you, Paul.
That was good. Okay. That was really good. I didn't think you were going to talk. I was like, I'm going to have to talk the whole time.
No, I could have said more, but I